Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to my Australian Open 2018 vlog. This is Wasim Parkar and it's time to preview day 8 and the other halves of the round of 16 draw. As usual, first I'm just going to quickly pass my thoughts on day 7. There were 3 matches in particular that were so entertaining and interesting. The first one featured Carla Suarez Navarro versus the 32nd seed Annette Kontaveit. Now Annette Kontaveit is a big hitter after all. She did upset Yelena Ostapenko in the third round. And here against Carla Suarez Navarro, she was up a set and 2 breaks. She was 6-4, 4-1 up. The match was in her hand. She was probably thinking of her first quarterfinal appearance. And lo and behold, she started shanking shots left, right, and center, lost 6 games in a row, lost the second set 6-4. She recovered her composure in the third set, hung in there. We had some great rallies. Carlos Suarez Navarro's excellent one handed backhand generating top spin and angles. Kontaveit using her power to hit winners from her backhand wing and forehand wing. It was excellent tennis to watch. Kontaveit then broke Carlos Suarez Navarro, served for the match at 5-4, and then shanked all her backhands once again. Basically, all Suarez Navarro needed to do was return the ball, and Kontaveit shanked her first shot way outside the lines. As a result, Suarez Navarro came back, fought to win 8-6 in the third set. That's a devastating defeat for Kontaveit. I remember she had a similar performance at Wimbledon when she was a set and 2 breaks up over Caroline Wozniacki last year in the third round. She really should have won the match and then she started shanking. This is a player with tremendous potential, but as has been the theme throughout this Australian Open with these young players, there are a lot of young, exciting players who can't seem to conquer the mental demons. The moments that really matter, they're not able to bridge that gap between potential and success. So Carlos Suarez Navarro, the veteran, makes her third Australian Open quarterfinal. Now, another great match that we saw was Rafael Nadal versus Diego Schwartzman. Now, in my preview yesterday, I did mention that Schwartzman, despite being very short compared to the men on the ATP Tour, packs a real punch. He doesn't give up. He's got excellent speed, and boy, did he give Nadal a lot to think about. Schwartzman actually had 24 break points on the Nadal serve. Unfortunately, he was only able to convert 3. And that's why Nadal was able to win in 4 very tight and competitive sets. Nadal really had to sweat this one out. It was a fantastic match. The rallies and shot making from both players was fantastic to watch. It really was an entertaining game. And ultimately, the heart went out to Schwartzman because, he put his heart and soul in the game. He tried his level best, but he fell short again, possibly because he didn't manage the big moments so well. And his serve was always a bit of a weakness. He had to struggle to hold serve, whereas Nadal, despite facing all those breakpoints, was able to get a few easy games here and there to sort of pace himself out better. But nonetheless, a memorable match that will live long in the memory of those who watched it on Rod Laver Arena. And then finally, Grigor Dimitrov versus Nick Kyrgios. Now, sometimes you build up a match and it turns out to be a bit of a damn squib. This match lived up to the billing. The shot making was absolutely amazing to watch. The serving was great. The aggression that both players showed was really a joy to behold. And ultimately, I was proven wrong. Dimitrov actually held his focus, withstood the pressure. The home crowd was behind Kyrgios, but for once, Dimitrov showed that he has a mental strength to cope with those challenges, and he came through in 4 gripping sets, 7-6, 7-6. 4-6, 7-6. So 3 sets went to tie breaks. There were only, I think, 3 breaks of serve in the entire match. The quality was really high. And I feel for Kyrgios, but the good thing was that throughout this tournament, he showed that he wasn't going to be distracted. Even in this match, when he went 2 sets down, he fought back to win the third set, and he only ended up losing in tie breaks. It's not like Kyrgios threw away the match, which is usually the case when he lost. Dimitrov actually had to beat him. So really, positives for both players. I think for Dimitrov, that might be a turning point in this tournament because, as I've alluded to before, in the first 3 rounds, he wasn't playing at his best. His backhand wasn't firing. Yesterday, his backhand and his serve both were on point. So A significant win for Dimitrov. I find that when you beat an opponent who's playing well and you play even better than an opponent, I think that brings a certain level of confidence that simply can't be bought no matter how many lead up tournaments you win, how many Masters Series tournaments you win. To win a Grand Slam, you need that confidence. So those are the highlights of day 7. Now day 8 and the remaining round of 16 games. Just like yesterday, I'm going to go through all the women's games first and then the men's games. So first, we've got a very interesting game: Madison Keys versus Caroline Garcia, the 17th seed against the 8th seed. Madison Keys, of course, losing U.S. Open finalist. Caroline Garcia, who until last year was a case of a player with unfulfilled potential. She's got a great serve, heavy ground stroke. She's actually very good at net as well. She's got an all-court tennis game. This lady has a potential to achieve a lot. But last year, especially in the second half of the year, I think she started finally delivering on that potential. She won 3 tournaments in the indoor season, made it to the WTA year-end championships, and as a result, now she's ranked 8th. She's playing better tennis. One thing that's still lacking, I think, for Garcia is decision making. Her balance between attack and defense could be better, but her attacking weapons are really strong. Madison Keys, excellent all court game as well, doing really well at the Australian Open for the second time. She did make the semi-finals a couple of years ago when she lost in 2 tie breaks to Serena Williams. She's serving really well. So this is a match between 2 players who are playing very confident tennis, who are naturally aggressive. I just think Madison Keys might know how to handle the occasion better, and she's got a better balance between attack and defense, and she also has the edge in movement. So I'm going to go for Madison Keys just barely to edge out a very tough game, but it would be no surprise to me if Caroline Garcia were to win this either. But the key is, can Garcia change a game under pressure when things get sticky? That's why I'm giving the slight edge to Madison Keys in this one. The next game, one of the stories of the Australian Open, Shea Su Wei, who beat Garbiñe Muguruza in the second round, then beat Aggie Radwanska in the third round, taking on a revitalized and reborn Angelique Kerber. Angelique Kerber, who thrashed Maria Sharapova in the third round. She is looking like the Kerber of 2016. And I think giving kudos to Shea Su Wei for her tremendous performances so far. Yes, she's got a lot of variety. She can get different variations on the ball. Her speeds change up. I still think Kerber's playing such good tennis, and she is choosing the right moments to attack. She's not afraid of being aggressive. She's not just defending. I think if anyone can handle the slow pace and change ups of Shea Su Wei, it is Kerber in this form. So I'm going for Kerber to win in 2 very tight sets. Though, as Shea Su Wei has shown already in this tournament, anything is possible with her. But I think Kerber had a big statement win over Maria Sharapova, and she is going to follow it up. The next one, another all-check battle. In the last round, Karolina Pliskova played Lucy Safarova. It was a really close match, 7-6, 7-5. Now she takes on another compatriot, Barbara Strykova, former Wimbledon semi-finalist, also a very intelligent player. And just like the last game between 2 Czechs, I'm expecting Pliskova to come through in 2 tight sets. She's got the bigger game, and Pliskova is another player who's serving well. When she serves well, her frame of references are all in place. She feels like she's in a good zone. When she serves well, she's very hard to beat. So I'm going with Pliskova to win in 2 very tight sets. And then finally, the last round of 16 game in the women's draw sees Simona Halep take on Naomi Osaka. Now, Simona Halep came through maybe even a bit luckily against Lauren Davis in the third round. Almost 4-hour match, 15-13 in the third set. Now, Naomi Osaka has been brushing aside her opponents pretty easily. She's won a lot of sets, 6-2. She's playing aggressive tennis. And I think if Halep loses the first set, I don't know if Halep will have the energy to rebound and make this match longer. If Osaka has a clear mind, I think she can hit through Halep's defense. The only way I see Halep winning this match is managing the occasion better and playing with experience, because I think Halep showed a lot of nerves in her last match against Lauren Davis, and there's going to be a lot of fatigue as well. So the chances of an upset over here are pretty high. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm actually going to predict an upset and see the Japanese make her first Grand Slam quarterfinal. Moving on to the men's now, a bit of a surprise. Martin Fucsovics from Hungary has made the round of 16, but I don't expect him to go any further because he is, after all, playing Roger Federer, the second seed and possibly the favorite for this tournament. There's just, Fucsovics had a great result in the second round, beating Sam Querrey in 4 sets, but there's simply no tennis technicality through which I can see him beating Federer. He's got a big serve, he's got a big forehand, but Roger Federer throughout his career has thrived against big servers. He's very rarely been upset by them. I just think Federer, with his greater movement, all-round game, and just form and confidence, will not be upset by Fucsovics. There's not much more to say on this one. The next match that's really interesting to me sees Novak Djokovic taking on Hee Young Chung. Now, Hee Young Chung is coming on the back of a fantastic 5-set win over Alexander Zverev. Hee Young Chung also won the ATP Next Gen tournament at the end of last year, which profiles the rising stars of tennis. This player is something special. I alluded to this in my preview for day 6. I'm going to say the same thing. He's got a variety of different shots. He's very quirky. His backhand's not typical. His forehand's not typical. It's not really topspin. It's not really flat. It's kind of hard to read, and he's got great movement. That being said, I think Djokovic is getting into a nice rhythm. He's playing some good tennis. Maybe not the tennis that he played when he was world number one, but certainly not playing the tennis either that shows that he has been missing for the past 6 months. He's getting into a good rhythm. There's still some chinks to iron out over here, but I think Djokovic will come through in 4 sets, especially you got to consider that Chung might even be a little bit fatigued after the 5 sets he took to beat Alexander Zverev. But I'm expecting lots of entertaining rallies, long rallies, scrambling shots in this game. I'm expecting Djokovic to take it in 4. The next round of 16 match is Fabio Fognini versus Thomas Berdych. Now, these both have played each other 4 times, and they are split in the head-to-head 2-2. Now, Fognini is a shot maker, and on his day, the angles that he can generate, he could be way out of court and hit a smashing forehand winner. He hits the ball really, really hard. He goes for broke all the time. So he is always a dangerous opponent. But I think Thomas Berdych, the way he beat Juan Martin Del Potro, tells me that he has focused his mind really well. He's making good decisions. And Berdych is, of course, a regular quarterfinalist and semi-finalist at the Australian Open. So I'm going to give him the edge over here in what should be an entertaining match, but equally it could also be a game where if Berdych takes the lead, you can see Fognini just going for broke and losing really quickly as well. So that's a big possibility. It has the potential to be an interesting match, but I think Berdych might just win this and might even win it easily. And finally, the last round of 16 match, Dominic Thiem versus Tennis Sandgren. Tennis Sandgren is another name that not many expected to be in the round of 16. The 26-year-old American, of course, beat Stan Wawrinka in the second round. Sandgren's best shot is his backhand down the line. He hits a good double-handed backhand cross-court as well. On the forehand, he can generate a lot of power but doesn't always find the angles. Dominic Thiem, after having a bit of a hesitant first 2 rounds, looked in much better touch against Adrian Manarino. If Thiem can just serve a little bit better, then he could be a serious dark horse. But I still think the serve is lacking for the overall tournament. But the way he's playing and the variety that he has, the defense that he has, I think he should have too much for Tennis Sandgren in the round of 16. So I expect him to progress possibly in 4 sets. So those are my thoughts on day 8. I hope it's a fantastic day of tennis once again for all of us to enjoy at the Australian Open. I'll be back to preview the quarterfinals next time. Thank you so much for watching. This is Wasim Parkar signing out.